Good afternoon and welcome to Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. So let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The Baku city circuit measures roughly 6 kilometres and is made up of 20 corners and 2 DRS zones. The circuit winds around the narrow city, through the old town, and even brushes against the city's medieval walls. However, as beautiful as the setting is, this track is also a ferocious technical challenge, where the smallest of mistakes could lead to catastrophic consequences for all of our drivers. Joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Smith. That was a solid result in their last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Perez, Lance Stroll and Hülkenberg, Verstappen, Raikkonen, Ricciardo and Lando Norris, Butler, Weber, Kevin Magnussen and Sainz, Kvyat, Smith, George Russell and Romain Grosjean. Albon and Lewis Hamilton rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Keep your eyes open on the run to turn 1 and keep it clean. We want to come out in one piece. Good luck. If you can, we need to make sure the engagement is okay before the start. We're going to want to put some temperature into the tyres and brakes. We need to keep the engine cool though, so don't go too high with the revs. race officials have enabled DRS. DRS is now available. Situation. We're good for the time being, but you are going to start to notice the wear, so make sure it doesn't catch you out. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Understood, copy that. line as you approach, and make sure you don't speed. Go now. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. The car ahead is 4.0 seconds. Sat at the back. Last place, Kvyat ahead. Our gap to the car in front is 4.0 seconds. They're on old mediums. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 19 laps to go. is dropping back. We're seeing a gap form. Car behind, running hards. Much longer, we're about a lap over the target. Drop down to mix too soon. loses 13.7 seconds. They're on fresh hards. The time last lap was a 1 minute 48.3. Is 13.0 seconds. They're on fresh hards. The time last lap was a 1:48.3. Gap ahead is 8.5 seconds. Virtual safety car, reduce speed immediately and keep a positive delta. VSC ending, we're going green. Maintain positive delta until the green flags. Okay, clear. at this point. Should still have a fair amount of grip left, but be mindful. It's going to start falling away. P6, P6. Verstappen is ahead of you. Gap to car in front is 13.5 seconds. They're on all hards. Hamilton is behind you. Less than a second separate you. They're on all hards. Okay, gap to leader, 40.5 seconds. Your pit window is open. Pit window is open. 7 laps to go. 14.7 seconds. Teammate behind is 0.9 seconds. They're on all cards. They're in 8th. The time last lap was a 1 minute 49.2. Teammate by 1.7 seconds. Second, they're on old hards. Their tyres are 8 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:48.2. The gap to the car ahead is 18.6 seconds. Hamilton is behind you. Less than a second separate you. They're on old hards. Their tyres are 8 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 48.2. Of fuel remaining. The gap behind us is 2.0 seconds. They're on old hards. The time last lap was a 1:49.0. Catching the car ahead, but be aware that these tyres need to last till the end of the race. There's 4 laps of fuel remaining. P7 now. P7 Hamilton ahead. Our gap to the car in front is 2.5 seconds. They're on old hards. Hulkenberg behind. The gap to the car behind is 2.5 seconds. They're on old hards. Our gap to first place is 48.7 seconds. The pit window is open. Pit window currently open. We're increasing our gap on the car behind by around a second a lap. Excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down. Laps of fuel remaining. Okay, gap ahead is 3.9 seconds. is behind you. Our gap behind is 2.8 seconds. They're on old hards. Their tyres are 11 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 47.6. This is your final lap of the race. Shifts to a minimum. Rubber and bring it home.
Ferrari have really pulled it out of the bag today. It's a great win. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, tyre management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. With that brilliant result, Sebastian Vettel secures top spot in the Drivers' Championship. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Well, for me, it's got to be Lewis Hamilton. The multiple world champion may be the boring choice at this point, but you can't argue that he's a driver deserving of his reputation.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari take the lead at the top of the table. Meanwhile, Renault move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy? It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it? You had a bit of contact today. Who was at fault there? Do you think you were lucky not to end your race with that crash? Great. Well, that's everything.
excellent result today. Finishes like that will look good on your contract reviews. On to the next one. It's time for us to renegotiate your contract. Here you can see the current deal. Once negotiations begin, the team will make you an offer. You can accept if you like, but I strongly suggest we push for better terms. Our proposal has been accepted. The new contract will take effect from the next race weekend.